You might think that RM became BTS's leader by chance or by working hard. However, if you look at his birth chart, the signs were there from the day he was born. His stars don't just hint at talent, they reveal a natural strategist, a communicator, and someone destined to lead. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact aspects in Namjoon's chart that point to leadership and global success. So if you've ever wondered whether astrology can really predict greatness, this chart might convince you. Hello stars, welcome back to my channel where I analyze the birth charts of your favorite celebrities. If you're new here, my name is Beatrice, I'm a professional astrologer, and in this video I will talk about the personality, career and finances of BTS leader Kim Namjoon. This is my second video about him. In the first one, I talked about RM being a true moon child and about a very rare and amazing pattern in his chart, the Star of David. If you haven't seen that video yet, check the link in the description. Namjoon wasn't just born talented, he was born with a mission. His birth chart shows something really special, a combination of deep thinking, emotional strength, and natural leadership. Being the leader of BTS, a global music sensation, wasn't a random chance. His stars lined up in a way that made this role not only possible, but meant to be. Namjoon's chart is full of signs that point to him becoming a voice for others, literally and symbolically. Let's take a deeper look into what the stars say about his personality, career, and why he was always meant to be the leader of BTS. Namjoon was born with a very special mix of strength, sensitivity, and intelligence. You don't need to know astrology to feel that he's more than just talented. There's something about him that draws people in and holds everything together. That something is exactly what we see in his birth chart. His stars show us that he was meant to lead a group like BTS using his voice, his mind, and his heart. One of the first things we see is that Namjoon's third house, the part of the chart that rules communication, starts between Aquarius and Pisces. This is already super interesting. Aquarius is a smart and original sign, always thinking ahead. Pisces is emotional and dreamy, connected to music and poetry. This mix gives Namjoon a mind that is both sharp and soulful. He can think deeply, write beautifully, and speak from the heart. This fits perfectly with how he writes lyrics that touch people all over the world. Inside this house is Saturn, the planet of responsibility, structure, and discipline. Saturn in Pisces shows someone who takes their words seriously. RM doesn't speak just to fill space, he speaks with meaning. He likely grew up feeling like he had a lot to prove when it came to expressing himself. Because Saturn is retrograde, this energy turns inward. RM may have spent a lot of time thinking, doubting, and perfecting his voice, but this only made him stronger. Over time, Saturn helped him become a master of communication. And there's also a gift in his chart. Saturn forms a trine, a very helpful connection, to Venus and Jupiter, two lucky and loving planets. They sit in the 11th house, the part of the chart that rules friendships, groups, and teamwork. This means that when Namjoon speaks, it brings beauty, wisdom, optimism, and harmony to the people around him. His serious thinking turns into real inspiration for his group and his fans. This connection between Saturn in the house of thinking with Jupiter and Venus, representing beauty and growth, also indicates that RM loves arts. He has the soul of an artist. Namjoon's second house, which tells us about what makes someone feel secure and confident, starts in Capricorn, a sign that's all about hard work, responsibility, and self-control. This means that deep inside, Namjoon needs structure. He doesn't rush into things. He wants to build something meaningful and lasting, and he'll work hard for it. Right at the start of this house, he has Uranus and Neptune, two powerful planets. Uranus brings sudden flashes of insight and genius. Neptune brings dreams, emotions, and imagination. When both of these planets meet Capricorn, it creates a person who can take wild, creative ideas and turn them into something real. This shows us that Namjoon's vision isn't just in his head. He is able to shape it, lead with it, and make it last. It's part of what makes him such a steady center for BTS. He can dream big, but also build those dreams piece by piece. When we look at Namjoon's fifth house, which is the house of talents, creativity, self expression, and joy, we see that it begins in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, and it brings a calm, patient energy. This means that Namjoon creates with care. He values art that feels good for the soul and makes people feel safe. Inside this house, he has Black Moon Lilith and the asteroid Pallas Athena. Lilith is a symbol of raw, honest power, something untamed and fearless. In Taurus, it adds boldness to his creative style. He doesn't hold back. He's not afraid to express difficult, even dark feelings or deep truths through his art. Pallas Athena is an asteroid that represents wisdom, strategy, and artistic intelligence. Having it in his fifth house tells us that Namjoon doesn't just create from instinct, he creates with vision. He knows how to put words, rhythms, and emotions together like a puzzle. This makes his music not just beautiful, but meaningful. He brings both power and precision to everything he creates. Namjoon's seventh house, which shows how he connects with others and how he works in partnerships, starts in Gemini, a sign ruled by Mercury, the planet of speech and thought. This means he builds relationships through conversation, curiosity, and mental connection. But what's even more important is that Mars, the planet of action, drive, and leadership, is placed in his seventh house in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of care, protection, and emotional strength. This combination shows a person who leads with heart. He fights not for power, but for the people he cares about. In a group, he's the one who protects the emotional balance and keeps the team strong from within. This Mars is also close to asteroid Fortuna, a lucky point in the chart. This tells us that Namjoon's good fortune comes from working with others and especially from leading them with love and care. His strength lies in helping everyone feel safe, understood, and connected. But there's a little challenge here too. His Mercury, the planet of communication, is in Libra, the sign of fairness and beauty, and it forms a tense connection to Mars. This means he may sometimes struggle between speaking calmly and acting emotionally. But this tension also gives him power. It pushes him to find balance between logic and feeling, and that's part of what makes his lyrics so real and moving. He brings both the mind and the heart into everything he says. Namjoon's sun, which shows who he truly is, sits in the ninth house, the part of the chart that's about truth, wisdom, and life purpose. His sun is in Virgo, a sign that is careful, thoughtful, and always working to improve. Virgos want to serve something bigger than themselves, and when their sun is in the ninth house, their mission is to guide, teach, and inspire others. Right next to the sun is Chiron, an asteroid that represents healing through pain. People with displacement often feel like outsiders while growing up, but later become powerful healers and mentors. Namjoon was probably very sensitive as a child and may have felt pressure to live up to high expectations. But this wound gave him strength. It made him want to help others feel seen, just like he wished for himself. Also right next to his sun is the asteroid Valentine, named after Saint Valentine. This adds warmth, compassion, and emotional intelligence to his core personality. Namjoon's love isn't loud, it's steady and powerful. He leads not just with talent, but with genuine care for those around him. In astrology, the second house is the house of money, of the way we earn income, but also of personal resources, like our talents. Namjoon's second house begins in Capricorn, a serious and hardworking sign. This already tells us that he takes finances and stability seriously. Capricorn people want to build something that lasts. He's not just chasing fast success, he wants a solid future. Right at the very start of this house are two important planets, Uranus and Neptune, both in Capricorn. Uranus is the planet of originality, surprise, and sudden breakthroughs. Neptune is the planet of dreams, imagination, and music. Together, they say that Namjoon earns money through creative work, especially music, and through being different. They help him pave the way for others through his work. His unique way of thinking and his emotional style help him stand out in the world. These planets also suggest that his income comes in waves, often connected to big shifts, group projects, or global influence. Sounds like BTS, doesn't it? The third house in astrology shows how you think, speak, and share ideas. It also relates to writing, lyrics, and learning. Namjoon's third house starts between Aquarius and Pisces. Aquarius brings originality and clever thinking, while Pisces brings poetry, emotion, and a deep connection to music. This mix is perfect for someone who becomes known for his deep, thoughtful lyrics. At the very beginning of this house is the asteroid Karma, which shows a sense of destiny or life purpose. In Namjoon's chart, Karma says you are meant to use your voice. And it also shows that he was destined to have music as a very important element in his life. Inside the third house, we find Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is the planet of hard work, discipline, and mastery. When Saturn is in the house of communication, it means Namjoon worked very hard to find his voice and to express himself clearly. Since Saturn is retrograde, he may have struggled with self-doubt at first. But over time, this placement gave him great wisdom and maturity in communication. Even better, his Saturn makes a trine, a very helpful connection, to Venus and Jupiter in the 11th house, which is the house of teamwork, groups, and collective dreams. Venus is the planet of beauty and harmony, while Jupiter is the planet of growth, blessing, and success. This means that all the effort Namjoon puts into his writing and speaking brings big rewards when he shares his voice in a group. This is a perfect symbol for his role in BTS, using his words to lead and inspire while also bringing beauty and success to the whole team. Also in the third house is the part of fortune, a point in the chart that shows natural talent and where good things come easily. It's in Pisces, again the sign of music and dreams. So no wonder that Namjoon is so successful in the music industry. The seventh house is usually about one-on-one relationships, but it also tells us how a person works in partnerships and groups. Namjoon's seventh house begins in Gemini, a sign associated with communication, and inside this house is Mars, the planet of energy and leadership. Mars in the seventh house shows someone who takes the lead in team settings, exactly what a group leader does. Mars is in Cancer, a caring and emotional sign. So he leads with heart. He protects, listens, and creates a safe space for others. That makes him not just a good leader, but a loved one. I already mentioned the tense connection between Mars and Mercury, the planet of communication, which sits in Namjoon's house of career. This means he sometimes feels pressure between speaking gently and acting with emotion. He might also feel an inner conflict between being a leader and being understood, between his public image and his work within the band. That could happen, for example, when he has to protect his members against rumors or other bad things coming from the outside world. But this also pushes him to grow as a communicator, and it gives him a sharp voice and quick mind, perfect for a rapper and lyricist. His midheaven, the highest point in the chart and the symbol of life direction, is in Libra, the sign of arts, beauty, balance, and peace. A very good placement for someone meant to work as an artist or performer. It shows that his public image is graceful, wise, and fair. People see him as someone who brings persons together. His Mercury in Libra makes him a natural speaker, negotiator, and artist, perfect for someone who speaks to fans and leads a team of talented people. Namjoon's 11th house is also very important for his career. This house rules groups, collective goals, fame, and the future. It begins in Scorpio, a powerful and intense sign. In this house he has Venus, Jupiter, and the North Node. Venus in Scorpio brings deep love for creative work, especially inside teams. He gives his all to his group. Jupiter, the planet of success and expansion, makes this group energy even bigger. It brings luck, attention, and global reach. His role in BTS isn't small. It was always meant to have impact. The North Node is a point in a chart that shows our destiny, what someone is meant to grow into during their life. In Scorpio and in the 11th house, it shows that Namjoon's purpose is to work with others, to share deep messages, and to lead teams that make a difference. This isn't just a job, it's his destiny. His 8th house, which deals with shared resources, deep transformation, and financial power, also gives strong support. It begins in Cancer with Sappho, the asteroid of poetry and emotional writing, right at the beginning of this house. Namjoon also has Nike, the asteroid of victory, and Ceres showing abundance in the eighth house, which shows that when he opens up emotionally through music and words, success, money, and growth follow. The vertex, a point linked to fate, is also in this house in Leo, the sign of performers. This suggests that Namjoon's biggest career changes and moments of success come through performing and emotional honesty. Last but not least, there is one special pattern in RM's chart that ties many of these points together. It's called the Yod or the finger of God. This is a rare triangle between three planets or points that puts a lot of pressure and purpose in one direction. In Namjoon's Yod, the base is formed by Lilith in the fifth house of creative power and Mars in the seventh house, meaning leadership in a group. The point that everything is pointing toward is the moon at the ascendant, his emotional expression and how people see him. This means all of his emotional sensitivity, creative fire, and leadership energy come together with one clear message: lead with heart. Be the emotional voice of the team. Use art to guide people. This is exactly what he does as the leader of BTS. Everything in Namjoon's chart points to someone who was born to lead, not with force, but with wisdom, creativity, and emotional strength. From his disciplined approach to success, to his gift for communication, to his emotional leadership in a team, everything points to someone who was meant to guide others through music and words. His career is not just impressive, it's aligned with his stars. His path in life isn't just about fame, it's about helping others grow, feel, and dream. And he does that through music, through his quiet strength, and through his ability to connect people across the world. Being the leader of BTS isn't just a role he plays, it's who he is. It was written in his stars already since the day he was born. Now that we've seen all of this, there's one aspect of his life that I haven't analyzed yet, but I will do it in my next video. His relationships, be it friendships, romantic relationships, or even his future spouse. Stick around if you want to find out more about that. Subscribe to my channel and turn the notifications on to make sure that you won't miss that video. Until the next time, shine bright like the stars.